Hey guys, it's Delacey. I'm hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
Before we talk about your debut single, My Man, I want to know what that transition was like from being the songwriter to now becoming the artist.
Yeah, it's simpler than it seems. Like I've been lucky enough to work with a lot of amazing artists and write with them and tell their story. It's always coming from a real place when I write, but I just feel like the only thing that changed when I became I decided to do the artist thing was I just had something to say finally that I knew had to come from me. I mean, I wrote a whole album in like a few weeks and I was just like, I have to do something with this because it's so personal to me. Yeah.
Now, and while you were writing for other artists, did that kind of help you in a way, like basically discover what kind of artist you wanted to be when that time came?
Yeah, I think it really helped in a lot of ways that I maybe didn't realize till later, but just me being in the studio for 2-3 years straight, like constantly, it's a therapeutic thing writing songs, even when you're writing for someone else, it's like a therapy session when you all get together and you're like pulling from something emotional. But yeah, I think it definitely, just made me realize that I'm not going to put something out until I feel like I have something to say that's worth it.
Right. Now, moving forward to your debut single, My Man, like, tell me about creating this song and what was it about this song that, said, this is me, this is what I want to talk about?
Yeah, like, it's just bold. It's just enough boldness for me that's like, who would say that kind of thing?
Right.
But when I wrote it, I just like kind of sang it out in a take, and we just kind of ran with the song. And the song wrote itself. I wrote it so quickly because it was something I was going through that day. But I just knew that it was the perfect mix of like vulnerability, which is like what all my music is really about. Like I'm not afraid to say whatever it is. Like I'll just say whatever on my mind. And so I think that this song just kind of was the pinnacle of like all of it coming together for me. And I just thought it was a cool first look. It's my favorite one on the record, so that's another reason.
Was there ever a time where you felt uncomfortable being vulnerable?
No.
It just happened
No,
naturally
for some reason it's, I wish, maybe more. Yeah, like I'm never embarrassed really. It's kind of a problem. I say things that I shouldn't say. But it's fine. It's good for my art, it's good for my art.
So take me into the studio when this song was already written and then you went in to record it. Like, what was that experience like for you and how different was it from any other studio session that you've done?
Well, I mean, what's interesting about just all my artist project is I wrote it and recorded it on the same day. Like I just kind of sang it in one take, and then a lot of it's like crappy. Like I messed up a lot, but I was like, I'm gonna keep it like that because I was emotional when I sang it. So
you want the real emotion.
yeah. So I didn't like perfect it in any way. I was just like, what, whatever I sang out is what we kept that day. I never went in and redid the vocals. So even at the time when I was writing it, I didn't know if anyone would ever hear it, which is also what was kind of cool about it, like my delivery for it. So.
I know there's a lot of other songs that you wrote. What was it about My Man that this one you wanted it to be your debut single?
I don't know. Again, it just felt like me. It just felt so me. Like I'm spicy, feisty Italian, but I'm also not afraid to be vulnerable and like. Yeah. Also, I love how it ended up being this kind of women supporting women thing that I didn't even mean for it to be, but I'm like, this girl's dope, and like, I don't know, just everything about it gives me a good like feeling inside, so I just liked it, yeah.
Now, I got to listen to some of the tracks that you've been working on. Black Coffee is my favorite, really? I have to say.
Nice. I love
so
that song.
Can you tell me a little bit about that song and like what kind of like, how different was it creating this song compared to My Man?
I mean, honestly, I wrote them all within like a pretty.
Everything was done in 5 minutes. That's what it was.
No, not 5 minutes. I'm not being like, no, not 5 minutes. But I just honestly like was in such a place, like an emo. I mean, I'm always emo, but I was really emotional and inspired during this like 3 weeks that I kind of just packed my bags and went to New York and was like, I'm feeling really lost right now. I just want to write some stuff for myself. I don't know what it will be. It might really suck and no one might ever hear it, but I'm just gonna do it. So, I mean, that song is I'm glad you like that song because it's really, that song is talking about myself so much. I'm like, the black coffee, it's like, you don't get any sugarcoating with me. Like, it's dark and here it is and take me or leave me kind of thing.
Right. I definitely love the storytelling and how you kind of did that. You know, do you think about your writing when you write music? Do you think about it a lot, or it's just literally just flows out of you?
It depends. Like, of course, I've had so many times when I've overthought it. You know, with your art, you get writer's block. You go through stages where you're like, I'm the worst. I can't do this anymore. But just something about when I did this, I wasn't putting any pressure on myself, and I wasn't trying to write an artist project. Yeah. So I really didn't overthink it at all. I was just kind of like in the moment. Like I was just singing how I was feeling. Right. And, you know, my producer that I work with is so good at like kind of like cultivating that from me and just letting it happen. It was mostly just therapy sessions in our session in the studio.
Now, who was this producer, and how do you feel he challenged you in the studio?
His name's Ito. He's in New York. He's one of my really good friends too. We're like brother and sister. We fight, but we love each other. He challenged me because he'll always push me, and we'll always argue with each other, like, to get the best thing. But we also respect each other so much, so, like, there's a trust, and we don't ever let each other overthink it. It's really cool. It's unlike anyone else I've worked with before.
Right. Now, earlier you mentioned that you basically started doing music for yourself because you started to feel something for these songs. Like, they were about you. But you recently had a song come out, Ruin My Life, that you mentioned is an important song to you. So, being that you did mention that it is an important song to you, how come you were able to release it to an artist instead of having it as your own?
You know, when I wrote that song, yeah, it was from a super real place that I was going through. It was like, you know, deep. And I wrote it really quickly with one of my best friends on the piano. But, I mean, Zara killed that song. She made it like a bop, you know? Like, for me, it was like this emo song on the piano that was like it probably wouldn't have reached as many people. I'd be like, oh, that's depressing. Next song. But she made it like a bop, you know? So honestly, like when I heard she wanted to do that song, I was so excited.
Now, did this song kind of happen before or after you were already working on your material?
Before. Okay. That's the thing is, like, I really wasn't in the artist headspace during the time of these things, so I have no, like, you know, animosity. Like, I love that they came out the way they did. Yeah. I was writing for them and with them. And when my artist project happened, it was just really on its own and secluded, and that's what's cool about it.
Nice. Now, right now we're listening to the debut single, My Man. Obviously, there's more music coming out. So, you know, what are the plans with your music? Are you trying to do singles? Are you trying to do, like, an EP? What can fans expect? You know, it's still unclear, but I know I'm going to be releasing like a couple more songs, hopefully very soon. I hope. Hopefully Black Coffee is the next one.
But I really have a whole album. I have like 13 songs that are mastered and ready. So we're just kind of trying to put them out in a way that people are going to pay attention, and we're going to do them justice. Like, we're shooting videos for them. I'm excited about shows I have coming up. So just kind of trying to take our time with it, but it'll be soon for sure.
Now, for those that are not familiar with you, and to close us off, why did you choose music as your career path?
I don't know.
That's a crazy idea when you're young.
Yeah, I was a very unstable, crazy child. And I don't know. Well, I've never even thought of doing anything else. If I'm being honest, it's like the farthest back memory I have of like playing the piano and writing horrible songs probably when I was really young. But this is just all I've ever really thought I wanted to do. Yeah, it's really all I know.
Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Congratulations with the new music. Congratulations with your LA debut. And you guys be sure to check out Delacey. Check out the new single. It's out now, My Man. And thanks for watching here on Firm Live.